Hello everybody, it's me the Boss Hog, and today we're going to be looking at my stock portfolio as of the week ending the 3rd of December, buys, sells and dividends. Let's do it. Alright, so I'll start with the P&L by day. This is a much better week, especially if you guys have been following my weekly updates for the last 2 weeks where I was pretty beaten up. I would say that although it kind of looks like small movements, and I know that's a relative term, but like less than 1% each day, there's considerable volatility in some of my stocks. Some of them are up like reasonably well, others are down pretty badly. Things are all over the place, basically, right? It's very volatile at the moment for me. I'm sure a lot of other people are finding that as well. I would say I had good weeks for my two largest stocks being National Express and BMY. I would say that both of those stocks were really beaten up for several weeks / months beforehand. So a little bit of a dead cat bounce, but I have nearly 40% of my portfolio across those two stocks. So them having like 3 or 4% plus weeks definitely had some impact. National Express has actually been recovering for the last couple of weeks, probably on the expectation that by the middle of December something might finally be announced regarding their big Stagecoach takeover merger, but it may as well be a takeover because of the size differences. I have been beaten up by Genie. This is a company that I bought a lot of around the 1040 level. Under 10 actually, so my average is like 1040. So I'm down reasonably material on this, right? It's like 10% of my portfolio, so that's weighing things down. And then I have like a reasonably recovery focused consumer discretionary. Those kind of stocks have all been being beaten up as well. But as you can see, a small win overall. So let's not knock it because again, it's very volatile at the moment. Literally no trading this week. The only thing I even thought about was buying Huntington Bank shares, which is HBAN. That's a company I've owned before. I think it's a very good, well-run, medium-sized bank by American standards. It went down to like 14.50, and I considered crystallizing a loss at that kind of level because I think that's like 20% upside. Decided not to pull the trigger, and it's a bit sad because it recovered very nicely after that. But that was the only thing I was really tempted by, and I just didn't really see the need to crystallize any losses. I've been, re-looking at some of my larger conviction plays. I still believe in them, so I just decided to sit on my hands basically and let the volatility play out. So literally no sales this week, right? Any of my buys were from new capital. In terms of new capital, so this figure is the largest it's been for some time, 3.2k. Now, there are a couple of reasons for this. First of all, I'm about to go on holiday for a couple of weeks. I'm going to be on a ship, so I want to be kind of not connected to the internet too much. So I decided, as well as my standard £400 this week, I'd bring forward two additional weeks. So that's 1,200. And then I decided to cash in some of my poker pots. So at home, I have the better part of £3,000 in cash, which I use to play poker as a side hustle. I decided to put £2,000 of that into a bank account and ultimately into my stocks portfolio. And mainly, as you're about to see, that was to focus on Disney. So we'll get to that in just a second. But this does mean that I'm not going to be buying any more stocks unless I trade over the next couple of weeks. And to be honest with you, I've kind of just in my head, I'm more or less buckled in until mid to late December, and just again gonna wait and see how things play out and just be patient basically and try not to panic. So anyway, in terms of my buys, I've already let slip the main one actually, but let's see what there is. Alright, so again, a really short list this week. I have talked about Disney previously, but this is becoming more and more of a conviction play to me. I'm now up to just over 40 shares. My average price for these 27 nearly shares was $147.04. That's figure there in terms of the averages in pounds, because that's what my broker does annoyingly. So I could have been a bit more patient here. That's normally a problem of mine. Like, I'm going to be doing a bunch of like year-long reflections because I've now been investing for a year, and definitely I think I'm actually quite good at recognizing opportunities, but I'm just not patient enough either getting on board or cashing out actually too soon. So here I probably could have dripped in a little bit slower. For me though, basically anything under 150 for Disney I think is okay value. Maybe not like screaming the best deal you've ever seen, but when I look at their EPS from like 2019, when I look at sort of their growth areas, some reasonable recovery for things like their ships and their parks, which aren't really what's driving the share price, but it obviously kind of like brings in new markets effectively, makes sure the kids love it. But still, I kind of like looked at the numbers a couple of weeks ago on Disney. Think that they should make close to $6 a share in terms of earnings next year, which gives me a forward P of 25 at $150. And again, I'm very happy to pick up Disney at that kind of level. Sure, it's a premium, but it's really one of those companies that you can just buy and sleep safely at night. I am averaging down a little bit, so I am at 152.76. So I'm sitting on a small loss here, but honestly, I feel very relaxed about Disney as a long-term prospect, and I'll continue to buy, especially really anything under my average is a buy for me once I do start putting money into things again. So again, I'm kind of getting increasingly bullish on Disney effectively. The other one here, so I call this company Khaki. They call themselves CACI, but that's just a mouthful. That's its trading ticker as well. I would describe it as like the less well-known version of Palantir. It's kind of an integration of IT, automation, defense, etc. It has contracts with the NSA, those kind of high-level intelligence sort of operations. Now, I originally got into this when it was like 217 when I first started investing, and at the time I didn't really have enough confidence in myself to really back it because I was convinced it was really undervalued at that level. It then announced a buyback. It then went on a bit of a mission. I listened to their results a fair few months ago now, but they were professional, solid. They gave reasonable guidance in terms of the lost revenue that they were going to be seeing this year due to the Afghanistan withdrawal. So whereas things like Lockheed Martin really overreacted to, maybe they reacted fairly because the guidance was wrong, I think Khaki have done a much better job of guidance and expectation management and etc. Right? It's a smallish, well-run, nimble integrator basically for IT and intelligence into military services primarily. So for me, it kind of ticks a couple of boxes in both my IT sector, which is very small for me, as well as the defense side of things as well. So yeah, I decided to get back into it effectively. I sold out previously between 270 and 290. But I have a 290 target for this now, maybe slightly ambitious on that, but at 268 to me, it's a company that doesn't pay a dividend, by the way, and they have no intention of ever paying a dividend if you read their investor relations. I'm okay with that, right? It's outside of my tax efficient ISA, so again, I'm focusing here low or no dividend payers. And I think it's again just one of those companies that I want to be building a stake into. I'll probably only be buying this under 270 is probably my cap, to be honest. I do need a little bit of upside here just because again no dividend. It is a very volatile stock though, I guess in part because of the no dividend policy, and so we will continue to buy again under 270 I think when I start putting money into it. So yeah, very simple this week, very short. Just the one share, by the way, in Khaki, CACI. But again, I plan to build up on this stake on any kind of weakness, really. And again, it is quite a volatile holding. So I do think there'll be buying opportunities. It's not one I'm going to rush into, basically. I'm just going to accumulate as and when I can and just stick it away for the future. So that's all my buys this week. So let's move on to my sells. All right, so if you were paying attention in my summary opening, again, nothing sold this week, so I have really nothing to show you. I'm sitting on a sea of red. I'm going to be doing my month-end portfolio currently, and because I'm quite an active trader, I have very good realized profit, but my unrealized profit at the moment is actually negative, so it's an unrealized loss. Again, not super surprising considering the last few weeks and everything else. So again, I'm not really over sweating or worrying too much. And I just wanted to again use this to say I'm not going to be around for the next few weeks. Going on a cruise with my wife and daughter, and going to be doing very little in terms of internet browsing. Basically, I will be working for 2 days, but that will be my day job that I've agreed with my boss. And otherwise, basically just treating it as a nice break and a chance to sort of reset and get focus for next year, actually. And again, I plan on doing some kind of year-end videos and then some new videos for next year, reviewing how I found investing in the first year, mental aspects that I think kind of would be interesting, especially if you're very new to investing, and also some reflections on kind of things I've done well, things I've done less well. I think I'm very honest with myself as a person, you know, as an investor, as an employee, as a husband, whatever, right? I think I'm frank in how I view myself, and so for me, you know, the end of the year is a good chance to kind of take a few weeks out and kind of reflect on that, and basically come back and tell you guys, you know, any insights that I have. So that will be something I'll be working on, and so there'll be a few videos when I come back sharing my thoughts. But until then, you'll get a couple more videos before I go away tomorrow, just on my wealth and portfolio as of the end of November. But for now, I've been the Boss Hog. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and good luck for your investing. Bye for now.